Hi everyone. Okay, just a quick tutorial just to show you how to make sure you've got your bone roll values set up correctly on your armature models for animation mirroring. So that when you, for example, when you mirror the pose of a walking animation from one side to the other, that it doesn't end up all twisted, which is a common problem. Well, it was for me anyway. Okay, so let's just quickly jump in. Imagine we've got a model that's got a decent rig, and so we're going to import it with these three guys to make sure it's not broken. And then so now I want to make sure that the roll is set up correctly. So if I select my armature and then go to edit mode, in fact I want to show the armature as well as some axes, so I'll just quickly do that first. So with the armature selected, I can go to the data panel, viewport display, make sure the armature is in front, and also the axes are showing. That'll be important in a moment. Okay, so we have now the bones showing, and the problem that can happen is if the roll value is incorrect. So if I press N for number on the keyboard, then I can see this roll value here is 179, which is okay, just as long as the opposite bone for symmetry has a value of negative 179. Basically, as long as the bones on opposite sides, on symmetrical sides, have exactly the opposite number, so negative 2 or 2, etc., then it should be fine. And so I don't know Blender all that well, so I'm just sort of manually checking that they're all correct. So this one, for example, on the hand has 180, this one has negative 180, so that looks good to me. But a kind of quicker way to see it is actually using the axes gizmo that I enabled before. Because if you notice, for example, on this bone in the arm, the x-axis is pointing up. The z-axis is pointing backwards, but the x-axis is pointing up. On the right arm, the z-axis is still pointing back, but the x-axis is actually pointing down, and that's correct because they should be opposite to each other, exactly opposite to each other like that. So you can kind of quickly tell whether maybe they're not right. There's also like a weirdness in this model, but I didn't figure out why, where this leg bone has a little bit of rotation and this one does too, but it's not actually roll. So this has almost zero roll, and this one has almost negative zero roll. So they should look the same, but they don't. There's obviously some rotation I'm not seeing here. But anyway, to fix that in this model, because it is symmetrized, I can actually just select the one that's correct, go armature and symmetrize, and that fixes the rotation of that one. And again, this one here is a bit off, so actually I'll just symmetrize the one that looks good over to the other side, so armature and symmetrize. There we go. So I've already checked this myself, but you can just check that all the rolls are, the opposite, negative opposite numbers of each other, and it will be fine. Right, so let's move on to making the animation mirror now. So I'll go back to one I started earlier, which is over here. I need to save that. Okay, so I've got a reference image and the model inserted. I might just move my reference image a little bit so it's not in the way. Okay, there we go. And yeah, let's get animating. So yeah, like before, I can select my armature, but now I'm going to go to pose mode. I'm getting ready to put in a keyframe with the dope sheet. So I'm going to select this leg and just start rotating. So press R, and then yeah, I'll rotate it in the x-axis. I'll put it like there-ish. This doesn't have to be perfect, so I'm just trying to demonstrate the mirroring really. I'll move the back leg out a little bit. I'm going to press A to select the whole mesh. The whole mesh needs to come down now, so I will do that. Put them on the ground again, something like that. And yeah, his Alt A to deselect. His foot now is a bit compacted, but whatever. Okay, cool. And yeah, so feet are done-ish, and then the arms now need to be rotated into place as well. So R, and then not X, sorry, R and then Y axis. And bring them down. I'll just do these both at the same time actually. And bring this one down on the y-axis to about the same. Yeah, good enough. And then doing a bit of movement with them. So we'll put R and then, yeah. Oh, sorry, this one goes out the back. Yeah, this is the back. This is the forward arm, the back arm on the front. And yeah, I could rotate the hand and stuff to make it look nice. So let's do that real quick. So I'll rotate it around Z to get a bit of that rotation going, rotate it around something that's close enough. And then this rear arm needs to come out the front of the body. So rotate and rotate, something like that. Okay, whatever. Your animation will be way better than mine. Cool, so let's now imagine that I've actually completed, first I should create a keyframe for that, shouldn't I? So A to select all. I'll press I up here to insert a keyframe at this point down here. I'll press I, rotation, all of them. Yep, so that's our first keyframe. So now I want to be able to mirror that, and all I need to do now that I've set up that roll correctly is say like, put the scrubber in the next place for the next frame, and then I'm going to go pose, copy pose, pose, paste pose, flipped. And you'll see now that the right foot is back rather than forward. It's shifted up because of the offset I gave it, so I'll put it back onto the ground. It's probably not the best way to make sure it lines up, but whatever. And I can now do the same thing, insert a keyframe there. Okay, so now you can see I've successfully mirrored the keyframes, okay? And that was all because the roll was set up correctly before we began. That's the best way I know how to do it. So yeah, I hope that helps you with your Blender model, and yeah, I look forward to seeing your walking animation soon.